You
the
are
Sixers
now
have fallen
listening to
by
the
the
Hot Take
wayside.
Hot
They have
Box.
fallen apart in the last week or so. We missed the trade deadline, but I think the Sixers did as well. They didn't realize that they were supposed to get guys for some of the guys they were getting. They seemed like they were just cleaning cap out for really no reason. We'll go through some of these deals, but before that, I think, Ty, we even found out that the Embiid situation was going to be we have to wait 4 weeks and then it's going to be a reevaluation, or is it 6 weeks?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think it's 4 and then probably a couple more.
Probably a couple more, and then we'll probably see him in 2 months was probably the thought process.
Yeah. I want to see him in the regular season a little bit, just a little bit before the playoffs. I don't want him coming right back in the playoffs, all that pressure. Next thing you know, he's 5 of 18 from the field, and we're going home in 4 games to the Pacers, something like that.
Yeah.
I want to see him get some. Honestly, I don't think it matters. He's going to be hurt. He's going to be worn down. He's going to be slowed down by this nagging injury. It's not going to just go away.
No,
it's not happening. And then combining that with his lack of playoff success, I mean, he has one of the biggest drop-offs in points per game from regular season to postseason, I think, ever in NBA history. I think he is the number one with like 11, 12-point drop-off in the 30s to 20 in the playoffs. So mixing that with a bad knee, yeah. And also, we just don't go deep as a team, really. I mean,
definitely not anymore.
The other day against the Wizards, and this won't be like this in the playoffs, the other day against the Wizards, our 3 guys off the bench that we played, only 3 of them were Ricky Council, who, by the way, played great.
He did.
I would love to see him play some more. Ricky Council, the 4th. Cam Payne and KJ Martin. That's our rotation.
Did you see also that Ricky Council's brothers are also just named Ricky Council, but they have 1 less number?
No.
I don't know if that's true, but I saw somebody tweet that, and I was like, okay, that makes sense to me. I don't know if it's true, and I just kind of was like one of them things where like, oh yeah, that's fine. I'll
believe
that.
it. Yeah.
I'll go.
He actually had a double-double, played it pretty well. The Providence legend. Actually, he's from Arkansas.
Yes.
Actually, he's from both. So,
Ricky Council's 2 older brothers are also named after his father, Ricky Council. Both Ricky Council II and Ricky Council III also played college basketball. So there you go.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I guess that makes sense. Why I'm like, damn, I feel like Ricky Council's been around for a while.
You've seen a couple of them.
He's been playing basketball for a long time now. I don't know why that's so, but it turns out I think Ricky was not from. I think he's from Wichita State in Arkansas, not Providence. Maybe one of the other ones went to Providence.
Who knows?
That could be an option, but yeah. Oh yeah, I think the other one did. Right? No, he went. Yeah, Ricky Council II went to Providence. See,
it's hard to keep track. Really
not too
hard.
crazy.
Really hard to keep track, but the Sixers got Buddy Hield, Ty. That was the move that really shocked me personally because it kind of didn't make all that much sense compared to when you looked later on and when they did all the other moves. You were like, well, why did you do that? The first move made you think, wow, like they might actually be out here going to get, like, they're going after. We talked about, I know you have already been on they're done. Like, that's cooked. And I was of the thought process of, if they really want to compete this year and survive this sort of stretch, they need to go out and get one of those names like the DeJounte Murray and someone like someone of that stature, maybe a DeMar DeRozan. I know like these guys aren't going to change the world, but they'll maybe hold you over and help you win those Wizards games or the Cavaliers games, or maybe find a way to win some of these games. They trade what? Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, and 3 seconds. Was that the extent of that deal? I think. But for Buddy Hield is now a Sixer. In the last couple of games, it'll probably be great once Joel comes back. But who knows?
He's playing pretty well in his first couple games here. He's getting like the most assists of any player on our team, which kind of makes me confused because he hasn't passed the ball. But I'm not mad at this trade at all. I mean, the second round picks, nothing. Marcus Morris, I mean, he already got traded again and then bought out. Furkan Korkmaz, we needed to trade because he had some money that we had to get rid of so he can be under the apron, the second apron, I guess, is what it is. And what else? Second round picks were Toronto's in 2024, Portland's in 2029, the Clippers in 2029. So, yeah, I'm not going to be upset about that at all. I like the addition. There was just we were very strapped for cash. I mean, we're going to get a bunch of cap space in the offseason, I'm seeing, but there was not much we could do. Kind of like the Lakers. The Lakers didn't do anything at the deadline because they kind of couldn't. We were in a similar way. Like nobody wanted Tobias Harris. People were like, "Why is Tobias Harris still a Sixer?" It's like nobody wants him. You can't just. What are you gonna just? You're gonna trade him? You're gonna force trade? You can't do that. Nobody wants him. You can't trade him. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Nobody wants D'Angelo Russell.
Nobody would like take a bite on him for the last stretch of the season, though. Don't you think
I'm not.
You could get 3 good months out of him to maybe help your team? I guess really, if you're trying to win a championship, you're not going to add Tobias Harris.
No, definitely not.
I guess that's probably the thought process.
I saw people complaining about the Jaden Springer trade. I don't understand why he shoots like 30% from the field.
I just think it's who they gave him to.
Yeah, give him the Boston. He's not going to play there. I don't care. He's going to play 5 minutes. He's going to play 15 minutes a game. He's going to get 5 fouls, 4 steals, 2 blocks, and he's going to be like 1 of 5 from the field. He's going to be like Matisse Thybulle. That's exactly what he is. I saw people saying, "Oh, we just helped Boston." It's like, no, we did not help Boston. No. I'm sorry. We traded his money because it was guaranteed.
I was more just like, why did they do that now? Like, it didn't seem like it was really like a necessity. And he's like, well, he's 2 to 3 years away from really helping us if he ever does. And it's like, well, you knew that when you drafted him, so I don't know really why you would trade him now, because it doesn't like. Wouldn't you wait a little bit longer and wait for the asset to kind of grow a little bit, maybe get a little bit more from him? And it's tough though, Ty, because you see him like the last week that he was here, he's guarding Luka, he's guarding Curry,
he's better.
He's doing pretty good.
Weird, like sure, I agree.
That's where I agree with people, because it's like, damn, that's tough, because you felt like you were finally starting to get the fruits of the labor of putting all that work in and having him play in the G League and all that. So I get what they're saying, and that with the Celtics, I don't think, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, the Celtics just won the championship because they got Jaden Springer added into, like you said, he's not even going to play, really. So it's unfortunate for him. He's probably, hopefully he gets sent to their G League and he can get more work in, but he really was starting to kind of spread his wings as a defensive guy, because when they played the Jazz on TNT, he was like locking up Jordan Clarkson toward the end of that game. You could tell he is a factor on the defensive end. It's just another one of them guys where you need something from him on the offensive end, and they can't shoot at all. So you can't even stand in the corner and catch and shoot every once in a while. It's killer. What else did they do? They traded they traded Pat Bev for Campaign in a second, I think, and that was more of the emotional aspect of it, which didn't make much sense because Campaign's not. The belief is that he's not going to add much, but Pat Bev was not giving you really all that much off the bench, and not especially on the offensive end. The only problem I have with a lot of their trades is they seemed all really offensive centric. When I was really liking how, when the team was hitting it all cylinders, how they were doing well on the defensive end. That was the negative, I thought, from all these different moves. But again, it's more of the emotional aspect of trading Pat Bev for Campaign, and now he's going to the Bucks to play with Doc, and he was gonna fight Dame Lillard multiple times in the past. So, and they trade Daniel House for nothing, and
thank God.
And it's just another nothing trade. And that's right, Ty. They cleared room. After all that cap manipulation, after all the stuff they were able to clear the deck for, getting under that apron, they still were able to scrounge up the funds to acquire Mr. BBL himself. Kyle Lowry is coming back home, and he literally put out a hype video. He put out a hype video, Ty, of him coming home. I'm coming home.
That's
I'm
so sad.
home. And I saw somebody, I retweeted it. It was the Big 3 graphic, and it was the guy from Batman going, "What are you showing me? Come on." But Kyle Lowry is 37. He will be 38 in March. And really, what can you say? It's one of the most underwhelming times for this to happen. I was ready for this to happen 3 years ago, I think, when he was going to Miami or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, really, though, Ty, in the last 4 games he played, and he was playing 25, 24, 29, and 24 minutes. I believe this was for the Miami Heat. I don't think he ever really did suit up for the Hornets.
The Hornets, no.
He scored 2, 4, 2, and 2. So
I like it.
he had a couple good assist games. So I mean, do you think this is a good question? Do you think Kyle Lowry will give you more off the bench than Pat Bev was?
Very similar. I think they're very similar in multiple ways. Like Kyle Lowry's like a leader, an outspoken, a tenacious guy, right? He in his prime was a tough defender. I don't know if he's much of that anymore, really. I mean, he could be. I truthfully have not watched him play much basketball. He seems like he can still shoot a little bit, so that's good. I will take Campaign and Kyle Lowry over Pat Bev. I will. I think that's obvious, but also I see a lot of people. A lot of people in Philly are very attached to Patrick Beverley. I'm not really
He
sure
had that
why.
Philly mentality, brother.
Yeah. Well, I don't want it. I'm good. What I want is somebody that can score the ball. And I'm not saying these guys are fucking Dame Lillard, but I think these two. I think it's a net positive. I think we upgraded from Patrick Beverley with these. I mean, Pat Bev isn't even that good of a defender anymore. Like he's, he can get up in your grill and grab your jersey and play a little rough, but he gets blown by a lot. He gets beat to the spot a lot. So I'm not worried about losing Pat Bev. A lot of people are. It's kind of driving me a little crazy, but the way I look at it is it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. So
yeah.
Without Embiid, obviously nothing matters. But even with him, I don't see what's what are we going to do? When are we going to make this run? Who are you? Are we going to beat the Celtics or the Bucks, or are we going to beat the Pacers or the Knicks or the Cavs? Like now we're starting to fall back into the Eastern Conference standing. Before it was,
we talked about
I know that the injury, obviously, we didn't see this coming, even though we kind of could have predicted it. But now we're in fifth, and we're only 2 games above the Pacers for sixth. I'm sorry, for fifth, and we're only 2.5 ahead of Orlando, and only 3.5 ahead of Miami, and even 6.5 above Chicago. Like we're getting
close to slipping into that play-in, dude.
We probably will be in that. Yeah.
No, we probably will. I would say my prediction is they wind up 7 or 8.
Yeah, that would be, man. If we finish below fucking Miami.
I mean, have you watched any of the games since Embiid's been out and like no Maxey, and even when Maxey's played, there's a conversation that we're not going to have right now, but that needs to be had centered around that gentleman, dude, because he is the most inconsistent hit or miss kind of guy. I mean, I guess it's hard when your supporting cast is just Tobias Harris throwing up 12 points, but
Kelly Oubre, was either 5 of 5 from 3 or 0 for 5.
But I mean, I need more from you against. I don't even know if it was the Hawks or not. I don't remember.
The Hawks, yeah, the Hawks dropped 127. The Warriors dropped 127. He didn't play
in that game.
The Mavericks came back from a big deficit. Yeah. The Nets dropped like 136 on us at home. The Wizards were going.
It was the Warriors game. He plays 30 minutes, scores 12 points.
Yeah.
I mean, Kenyon Martin Jr. outscored him. That can't happen. Ricky Council
Quinones had 13 points for the Warriors that game, 4 of 7 from 3. They were 16 of 38. Curry only had 1 3. He only had 9 points, and they still torched us.
I thought you said Landon Quinones because that guy just fought in the UFC last week. Lester Quinones.
Yeah, I did. Lester. Yeah,
oh, wow.
Lester.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
okay. No, I literally was like, holy shit,
the UFC
that guy
fighter
just
is
fought.
also dropping buckets in Philly. Yeah,
talent.
Lester Quinones, the Memphis boy. Andrew Wiggins had one of his best games of the year against us. Like we are free falling, is what I want to say. I mean, we got the Cavs coming up tonight. Probably going to get smoked there. We got the Heat tomorrow or on Wednesday. We got the Cavs, Heat, Knicks, Cavs, Bucks, Celtics is how we're ending this month of February. Good luck. And then we start March with a couple of easy games ish, Hornets, Grizzlies mixed in, but I don't know how many games are really easy at this point. I mean, looking at our schedule, we have more hard games than easy games.
Oh yeah,
and that's just looking at that's just a first look. If we don't have Embiid for any of these games, they're all going to be tough. So hopefully we can get him back for April. Maybe we can get him in there against the Spurs, Grizzlies. He can drop like 25 in like 10 minutes, and we can feel good about ourselves.
You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.